Good morning, my lovelies. Lovely to see you joined on the mat. For a nice gentle practice today, we're not going to be leaping up and down. It's going to be a nice, soft, nurturing practice. So if there's anything that you need to be aware of in your body or gentle with, because you know you've got a few aches and pains, or generally your energy is depleted, then we'll take it gently today. So starting either seated or lying down, whichever you prefer. Sometimes lying down when you're feeling a bit run down is nice. Let the mat, let the floor support you. And then just having a moment to become aware of everything. We know sometimes that the back aches, but let's just scan from head to toe, noticing where we're holding tension in the face. If we've got a mild headache even, what's going on in our third eye and around our crown. How does your neck feel? Have you slept well? Sometimes we can wake up with a stiff neck. This is very linked with our throat chakra as well, how we're communicating. And then just noticing how your shoulders feel and your arms, elbows, are they achy? How are your fingers and wrists? Sometimes the cold, damp weather can exacerbate whatever we might feel, aches and pains. Checking in with your chest, heart. How do the lungs feel when they breathe? Noticing your solar plexus area, which is, I like to think of it as our internal battery. So thinking of a battery, where is your level? Do you need charging? Are you half charged or, almost fully charged? And then just noticing how your digestive system feels. Sometimes with any back imbalance, it can affect the energy with our digestive system. Noticing the base of the spine, the root chakra, and all the way down the legs. So hips, knees, ankle, these joints, down to our toes. And then finally, with our awareness at our feet, we can imagine the tree roots extending down into the earth. Have a moment of feeling grounded, safe and secure. And before we start our practice, it's nice to sort of send up a little prayer. If you need some relief in any way, just perhaps ask whoever you ask, whether it is a divine source or angels or guides or whatever it is. Sometimes they're all waiting there to help us. This is what I like to believe, but they have to be asked to step in. We have our own free will otherwise. So just noticing your breath. Notice how that feels. When we're feeling vibrant, it can feel quite open and free. And when we're a bit depleted, it might feel like the breath feels restricted. Notice if there's a subtle difference here. I'm going to join you lying down. And we'll start with our stretches and our warm-up. Another opportunity to just become aware of all the parts of our body. So on your next inhale, taking the right arm up and over. And let the hand fall to the floor behind you, just becoming aware of how that movement felt. And then we'll lift our toes as we flex into the foot. And then just have a lovely stretch, lowering down at the hip, stretching up with the arm and creating some space, making this side feel longer than the other side. And then point your toes. Feel that lovely stretch over the foot and ankle. And then when you're ready, exhale, arm down. Palms up just for a breath. And then left side. Notice the movement of the arm as we come over. Flexing into the foot, how does it feel in your calf muscle? And then just gently stretching, making this side longer than the right side. Pointing toes. And then relaxing on the exhale, arm down. Have a moment. And then when you next breathe in, taking both arms over. Just let the chin tuck in a little bit. lengthening through the back of the neck, and a lovely flex of the feet, and then pointing toes, and then just working your ankles backwards and forwards. Reaching up with the arms, feel the shoulder blades pull away from your spine. And then when you're ready, exhale, relax the arms down. Even those 3 movements can feel quite refreshing sometimes. So we'll draw the right knee into chest, hands around the shin, noticing how that feels to come into this position in your back. Deep breath. And then exhale and just coming up as much as you can, bringing the forehead towards the knee. If that at some part feels tender, only doing what you can. And then when you're ready to breathe in, come down. Swapping sides, left side. Deep breath in. And then exhaling, coming up. And then coming down on the inhale. And then both knees in. Deep breath. Exhale up. Let all the breath leave the body. And then inhaling down. Hold on to the knees and a gentle rock. And then start to make a few circles in both directions, feeling the outer edges of your back, how you rock more towards the tailbone and then the mid-back. So just exploring how that middle lower back feels. And then when you're ready, just rolling up. We will go through our usual Paramuktasana 1. This is a nice familiar sequence. And we can relax into how this feels and really tune in. So joining me in Chin Mudra on your meditation cushions, if that's comfortable. You can sit on the floor if you need to. Let the eyelids close. Root down again through your tailbone. Have an awareness of your breath. And then we'll take the chin down to chest. Pausing. Because even this movement, you can feel how that feels through the rest of your spine, how it knocks on down. And then we'll breathe in to center, and then exhale, taking the chin up to the ceiling. Again, noticing any tightness, how the compression feels. Lovely openness in your throat. Visualize a royal blue here. And then take the chin down again. And then once more up. Coming back to center. Tilting the head right. So all these movements that we do with our neck and then left are enhancing or encouraging balance into our throat chakra. Over to the right again. And then left. Really enjoy that stretch all the way from the ear, along the neck, along the top of the shoulder to the edge of your shoulder. And then coming back to center. Twisting as if you're looking over your right shoulder. And then left. Which side has perhaps more movement? And then over to the right and then left again. Returning to center. Chin down. And if you always go the same way, go the opposite direction, take the head all the way round. It might feel a bit strange doing something the other way than you're used to. And then once in the opposite direction, coming back to center. Opening your eyes if they've been closed, taking the hands out in front of you, and then thumbs in, thumbs out as we open and close the hands. And then palms up and down. And notice where you feel this, whether you can feel a little sensation run on the outside of your arms. And then rotating. Another way a few times. Palms up, deep breath in. Exhale. And just bring the awareness to your elbows. I always feel like my right one has a bit more tenderness than the other one. And then we'll start to rotate the shoulders. And a few times the other way. Feeling a nice squeeze of the shoulder blades. Okay, lovely. Just coming off cushions, extending your legs out in front of you. We'll just do toes, knees, hips. So opening toes, closing them. Pointing, flex. And then one over the other will rotate. And swapping sides. Other way. And then right knee. Hands under the thigh and just gently moving. Hip. Both directions a few times. And then other side, knee and then hip. Holding around your shin. And other way. Okay, feet together into butterfly or bound angle. As you come into this pose, notice how much tightness you're holding in your legs and muscles initially, and then as you let that go, how it feels through the hips. Take some deep belly breaths. Okay, so joining me on all fours, we'll start with a cat-cow. A very gentle flex to the spine, just to really identify where we might need to be very gentle today. You might find one move is easier than the other. So grounding down, neutral spine breath, and then on the exhale, arching up. On the inhale, belly can drop, lifting head and tailbone. Take a breath perhaps in between if you need to just pause in between these poses. Allow this movement to be your own. If you need to just drop that belly and hold cow for a moment just to let things ease and settle, then you can do before moving back up into cat. And then if you wish and your spine allows, just start to gently move into wild cat-cow. Just introduce a little bit of rotation. Just see if that is comfortable today. When you're doing this, it's really nice to try to visualize the construction of your spine. All the different vertebrae. Rotating the other way now. The cartilage in between, little sponges, and how every time we move here, up, down, side to side, it's all getting a little bit of a kind of a massage. And then let's just come to a nice stillness here. Rock yourself back into child's pose, Hasta. Just bring the head down. Everything's going to be gentle today. We're not doing anything intense. It's a nurturing practice. So take a few lovely long deep breaths here. Let's ground, let's settle our nervous system. Even in this pose, it's a nice stretch from the head down to the tailbone through the spine. And then we'll gently lift the head coming up. Walk your hands back to your body, bring your knees together. And we'll turn the toes under for a little stretch into the feet as well. Always feels quite refreshing when you do that. Stimulating that awareness that our feet connect to the ground. And then we will come up to standing for an earth sequence. I think it's the most gentle of sequences to do. So if there's going to be one that you do when you need to be very gentle with your body, I would say this one. So coming to the left side of your mat, feet comfortably together, and we'll make a diamond shape with our fingers. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let this be a meditative movement. We can really slow it down. Breathe in. And find the top of that breath. Breathe out. And find the emptiness of the lungs there. Breathe in. And then out. Breathing in fully. And then out fully. In. And let the arms float down. One more time. As the arms come up to the ceiling, right foot comes to the side. If you're feeling tender in the back today, don't come too deeply into your squat. Only bend the knees as far as is comfortable for you. And if that is only halfway down, that's fine. If you can't bend at all, just repeat the first part. Still try and stay with the whole length of your breath. Use your heels to push into the mat and the thighs to come up rather than the back. And then after those three, we turn to the right. I like to imagine that as the hands come into our heart, we're drawing in what we need today. Whether it's a bit of rest, a bit of solitude, perhaps it is company. We need support. Perhaps we need to really look after ourselves in what we eat today and make sure we have enough fluid. And then after three, other side. As you rock between the back foot and then leaning into the front leg, how does your balance feel? Do you feel grounded and steady? Or slightly sort of wobbly or unstable? Stay with your breath, following the length of the inhale, exhale. And then after three, coming to the front. Breathing in and extend into whatever forward fold feels right for you today. If this doesn't, just repeat another part of the postures. When you're in this forward fold, and you might want to just take a moment, take a nice long breath, and then come up, engaging through the core gently as we do this. Release what no longer serves you. I always like to think of a forward fold in that way. And one more time, if you're with me. The beauty of this sequence is we can all go at our own pace. And I often find that we finish at very similar times. Okay, have a moment on your mat. Even though that was very gentle, I like to just give you that opportunity to absorb and check in with your body again in that neutral spine. Yoga means union. When you understand the word in Sanskrit, it's union of the mind, the body, the union of your physical life that we're in with the divine. It's all about coming back to your true source. And it is through the postures, it's through the breath, it's through meditation, it's through the moral disciplines. There's so many elements to yoga. Just the movements on the mat is such a small part. So even as you lie here, just becoming aware, taking stock of your breath, of how your body feels after that movement. This is all yoga, even if it feels like you're doing nothing for a moment. So when you're ready, let's just bring the right knee in and then the left knee. We'll do some gentle bridge and then a lying spinal kind of wave and twist. So moving the spine, moving the back, but in a very gentle and controlled way. So let's bring our feet to the mat, knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart, and then palms face down. Just doing whatever feels right for your body today. You might not want to come up too high. Just explore how it feels to lift and then roll the spine down to the mat. So engaging gently the pelvic diaphragm and the lower abdominal muscles. And when you're ready, we're going to breathe in, push through the heels, come up. You might not want to come up too far. And then when you're ready, you can just roll on the exhale, roll down. Keep the tailbone curled forward. As everything comes down, the lumbar connects with the mat and then just lifts as the sacrum and tailbone connect. So just carrying on, deep breath in as you come up. Push through the heels, feel strong through the buttocks and the legs. And then just roll down. If your back is particularly tender today, maybe don't come up as high as you would normally. Just lift up a little. So you're not straining the muscles in the back, and then just enjoy the roll down the curve of the spine as it connects back with the mat. Let's just do 2 more. Sometimes we have to know when to be very soft with our bodies. It's not always about strength training and pushing to limits. It can be just moving with whatever ability we have in that moment. So after that last one, just extend your legs into Shavasana. Even if you haven't done that very dynamically and in a very strong way, you can still feel the energy flowing through your body. Perhaps it feels nice and sort of a bit more freed up in parts of your spine and your back. Often when we get back pain, the muscles then want to tense. Everything becomes a bit knotted and tied up. And so just sort of releasing sometimes the muscles can allow everything to feel a bit more comfortable. Bring the breath to your belly. Take some real deep breaths into this lower belly area. And you can feel perhaps the lower back push out into the back ever so gently, into the mat. Using the diaphragm. And then let's bring knees into chest. Have a moment to rock. Relieve anything that does feel uncomfortable. And then it's quite nice to team that with the lying spinal twist. So bring the feet back to that same position. Arms can come out a little bit more level with your shoulders if you've got the room, and the palms up. And then taking a nice deep breath in. And just start to lean the knees to the right hand side. Don't go too far that it creates any pain. Breathe in back up to centre. And then exhaling, the knees can come over to the left. Breathing into centre. Whenever I do this, I quite like to be tentative and not come down too far initially. Just sort of test the body. Feel where all the sensation starts to move up in the back. And then gradually, as we continue this nice little flow, you'll find it feels safe or comfortable enough to come lower. Stay with the movement and the breath as well. Breathe in as you raise the legs, and then exhale as you lower. Whenever you are doing these poses and movements, notice what comes into your mind. Our thoughts are so powerful. They can either be something that supports us, nourishes us, thoughts of good investment, positive investment in ourselves, or they can be quite draining thoughts, depleting us, not supporting our overall energy. So as you just continue to do this, it might feel quite comfortable now. Just bring the knees over to the left-hand side and then up to centre. And we'll end there so that we've ended on an even movement into the body. And then again, just nice and slowly, just extend your legs back down to the mat. So a lovely way of sort of articulating your body and your spine is, bridge and then the nice lying spinal twist. Check in with how your nervous system feels now. Whether it feels quite safe and relaxed, softened. And then we can bring knees in. Take a few moments to rock. Deep breaths. So rolling up, we'll come onto our knees for gate pose, which brings a nice side stretch to the body. If you've got a block, bring a block to hand. And if you bring your block to your right hand side, we're going to extend the left leg out. I like this posture. It's called gate pose. It's an alternative to, I would say, trikonasana in the way that we get the nice stretch through the back. So just rest your left hand on the left leg. Inhale, take the right arm up. And then just gently lean towards your left leg. You might not feel like the body comes over at all, but you can start to feel a nice sort of stretch into the right side of your body. Try not to hold your breath. Try and breathe deeply to belly. Let the whole breath move into the chest. Don't have to push into this pose. Just literally lean into it and explore how much movement you have. And then we're coming to the opposite side. So lower the right hand down to your block. I tend to use a block because it's a long way down to the mat. And then we'll just inhale, take the left arm up over now. And in a very gentle, nurturing way, just explore a nice stretch into the side of your body. So we've come up and down with bridge, we've come into a spinal twist on the mat, and now a lovely stretch into the side. Okay, coming up, nice and slowly, draw that left knee into the right. We'll do the other side. Can you feel that? Notice the after effects. So we'll just pause here for a moment and just notice what we're feeling in the side of our body. This is our gallbladder energy as well that runs outside of the body here. So right leg out now. And we'll start leaning towards the leg. Inhale, take left arm up. Exhale, just slightly lean towards that outstretched leg. You might find it feels very different from one side to the other. I have a very different range of motion, both sides here. Sort of how the hip and how everything wants to move. Okay, other side. So lowering the left arm down to a block. Inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, take the arm over. If you need to lower your block to a lower height, then you can. Everyone has a different sort of ability to stretch. But I think keeping it at this height is quite sort of a gentle stretch today. Breathe deeply. Try not to just let it be chest breath. Okay, gently come up and bring your knees together. We can just sit back for a moment. And if you just need to fold forward into child's pose, just relieve the back a moment. It might be nice, if the back is tender today, just to rest your forehead on two fists. Just brings the mat a little bit closer to you and not so intense on the spine. Take some deep breaths against your thighs, and it's nice how the back opens up. And then from here, if you want to take your hands away and bring your forehead down and just get a little bit more of a stretch in child's pose, with the hands by your feet, letting the elbows rest on the mat and your shoulders roll forwards. And then lifting the head up slowly with the hands either side of your head. Take a few moments here. Let's come on to belly. We're just going to do some poses in crocodile. Just make a pillow first with your hands and rest your cheek. Sometimes even this you can feel through your back. Breathing deeply to belly, feel your back of your body lift. So just come up and join me in crocodile today. Elbows are in front of your shoulders. The base rib is still feels like it's connected to the mat, and you're just having that lovely, gentle curve into the lumbar. If this is too much, just rest your cheek down as well. Just listening to your body. You can rest your forehead on your wrists if you want to. Try to relax through your buttocks and your legs. Just see if you can soften into this pose. Let the heels roll into centre if that's what your legs do. And just take some really deep, nourishing breaths. Feel like you're charging up the energy in the solar plexus and in the body. The solar plexus is the junction, your energy junction in your body, which has the most nadis, the most channels that run through it. So it's almost like a central box where energy then extends out through all different areas of the body. If you think, I think I've mentioned this in the past, there are 72,000 nadi channels that run through your body in yogic philosophy. So thinking of all the ways energy can move through your body. Okay, lower down. Just have a moment resting your cheek or your forehead on your hand pillow. Nice deep breaths. You can lift up, just bring hands underneath your shoulders and just again push yourself back into a nice child's pose. You can take your knees wide this time if you wish, and then just rest the hands out in front of you, Hasta Balasana. Some deep breaths into your body. And we'll lift the head slowly. Okay, coming onto your back and taking hold of your yoga straps. So the length of your yoga strap, if you have it round your foot, when I have it round my foot, it kind of comes to my hip area. So that's probably the length that you'd want it. And then we're going to come into a pose called hammock, which we have done before. So let's just lie back. We'll pop it round the back of the head, the base of the skull bone. Not the neck, it's above the neck, but on that hard part of the lower part of your skull bone. Left leg can be bent or straight. And then we're just going to hang out in this little hammock pose. And it's nice to, if you want to, you can just gently push into the foot and feel a nice stretch into the back of the neck. And then you can explore relaxing the leg, letting the head become heavy, and then you'll start to feel a bit more of a deeper stretch in the back of your leg and your hamstring, your calf muscle. And then sometimes it's just nice to rest somewhere in between there. Relax the muscles of your tummy, shoulders. This is a nice way of starting to release tight hamstrings. A lot of us do have tight legs. And also combining it with an inversion. Try and relax. Every now and then you might feel like you're really pushing into your leg and everything's tense. You can relax as well as feel the stretch. And then if you want to, you can unhook the strap. You can stay here if you wish, if that's most comfortable. Unhook the strap and then just have a little bit of free form movement. Swing the leg out. You can let the leg just hang there for a moment and enjoy the inner leg stretch, which is stimulating your liver and kidneys and spleen. And then just Gently moving maybe the leg across the body, how it feels straight, how it feels when the knee's bent. You can let your legs swing round in some big circles if that feels nice. Or maybe just sort of pausing and pulling the leg higher up with a bent knee if need be, just to feel what flexibility you have here. And then we'll just gently lower. Let's swap feet, but just have a moment to pause and just feel the after effects, just a breath or two here, just to feel the flow of energy, the stimulation. And then we can come into the other side. So raising your left leg, the strap's around the ball of the foot. And again, just a reminder always that the strap comes to the base of the skull bone, not the neck. And then just exploring how it feels this side. You might notice that one leg always has a little bit more stretch than the other. And again, exploring whether you like to push into the foot and feel that stretch in the neck, or whether it's quite nice just to let the head be heavy and feeling that stretch through the leg. Relax the breath in the belly. How does this pose feel for you today? Do you like it? Does it feel sort of stimulating but also restful at the same time? Every now and then, just notice if there's a little bit more stretch that you can move into. And then we'll unhook from the head if you wish, and have a little bit of movement around with the leg just holding onto the strap. What position do you like to swing your leg into? I think it's always lovely just to swing it right out to the side and feel that lovely inner leg stretch. It doesn't feel as comfortable across the body, but everyone's different, so just exploring. And then gently walk lower down. You can just unhook your foot and have a few moments, just a few breaths here, just to tune in. Nice deep breath, long sigh. Let everything relax. So bring the knees in. I'd like to offer you yogi's choice, just for one last pose. I'm going to suggest, if you can't think of anything, coming into bench pose, because it's lovely and supportive and relieving on the spine if it is tender. This particular pose opens up through the top part of the body, the thoracic, and is less and it supports the lower back. So if you are lower back, middle back, this is quite a nice one. If you'd like to choose something else, another pose that you just, my body needs to come into this shape, please do. It's your choice and it's listening to your body. But otherwise, if you take your cushion about 3-4 maybe inches away from your body, and just lie back so that your head and neck feel supported, and if they don't, just a small blanket under the neck perhaps. And just let your arms rest out wherever they want to be. Probably one of my favourite, I don't know, top 5 poses is this one. Just depending on what you need in the moment. Let yourself become as heavy as possible. Let everything relax. Even your face, your cheeks, your jaw, the muscles around the eyes and your forehead. And just feel like everything is being supported in all ways, emotionally, physically, mentally. Trusting in the process of life is a lovely affirmation I like to come back to, even when things aren't right how we want them to be, or things are going a bit wrong. It's trying to trust in the process of life, that there's a bigger divine plan for something. When we're poorly, when we're sick, it's to slow us down maybe, to let us reevaluate, just conserve and nurture. And then when we're busy, it's because we've got that ability to be and energy. So one more deep breath here. Let's lift our head slowly, pull the cushion away, come down to your mat, have a few moments. And if you tuck your chin in ever so gently, we can start to engage Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi is the breath that sounds a bit like Darth Vader. It's very noisy, husky sort of breath in the throat. So just it's closing off the airways so that it becomes noisy. Breathing in. It sounds like you're snoring a little bit. Deep belly breaths. It's also known as ocean breath, because as you get used to the sound, it sounds like the ocean. And just one more. Returning to your natural breath. And then we'll come into relaxation. So either lying down still, pulling a blanket over and using bolsters and cushions, or if coming to seated feels more comfortable, that's fine too. I feel drawn to the angel cards. And perhaps if you have a question, if you have a quandary in your mind, or even just asking for general guidance, just send up a thought. And then, oh, I love it when a card falls out. Let's take this one. It's almost like they're saying, this is the one you need. Don't choose one, I'm going to give you one. And you may have heard these many times. Sometimes the same one comes out quite frequently. But you might have a different question. It might resonate with a different situation in your life. So I always feel like just to take it, and then maybe it will make sense later on. So relaxing yourself. Soften from head to toe. Take a few deep breaths. Let everything calm. And then the card that fell out for you today is Isabella. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. In answer to your question, yes, this situation is everything that you hoped it would be. It is still a good idea to keep your eyes open and pray for angelic assistance along the way. Even ideal situations require adjustments as you move forward. However, we angels foresee smooth sailing with this decision. The opportunity is even more favourable because of the timing. Several pieces of the puzzle have now fallen into place, and you've also learned some invaluable lessons that have prepared you. Your patience has paid off, and now is the time for you to reap the rewards. Take bold steps while listening to the wise guidance of your heart as you move forward fearlessly. Hopefully that will mean something to you. If you have a question, the answer is yes. So just have a few minutes here, just relaxing. Don't think about time or anything else other than your breath. If your mind starts to wander a little, just focus on the temperature around your nostrils. As you inhale, it's cooler, and as you exhale, it's warmer. So without moving, just for the last minute of this relaxation, just stay with the breath and the temperature. Breathe in, feel the coolness. Breathing out, feel the warmth. Just for the next minute, just stay focused on this entirely, to the exclusion of any other thought. That was 1 minute. Did you stay with that constant thought of just the breath and the temperature? Or did thoughts come in? Just simple observation, just notice. Sometimes a minute can go quickly, sometimes a minute can feel forever, like forever. So just gently now, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Look forward to coming back into your day. Even if it doesn't entirely feel like that, just send that thought out. The rest of my day is going to be joyous, and I am going to see lovely things. Just feel happy. Even if it's stuff you don't want to do, just allow yourself to think, I'm going to be happy as I do it. Happy to wash the dishes, happy to do laundry, happy to be breathing in, breathing out, life's purpose. So have a nice little wriggle and a stretch. Maybe rocking the head side to side, and then you can draw knees in. Nice sigh of relief. Send your positive intentions out there already. And just coming back to the idea of asking for help, guidance, wisdom, whenever you need it. Just send up a thought or say it out loud quietly. I often do. When I'm looking for a parking space, I talk to my parking angel. Please find me a space right outside. It often happens. So joining me, we're going to chant 3 Oms. Just bring the hands to Chin Mudra. Close the eyes. Take a lovely deep breath in. And then bringing the hands together, we'll rub the palms to start feeling the heat. And then palm your eyes, blinking and letting the light through gently as you part your fingers and draw your hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.